Yeah, so welcome back. So yesterday we sort of picked up on the Marvel announcement of Doctor Doomsday. Yeah, they sort of announced it in a very long-winded sort of style, but clever marketing in a way. They basically put a director's chair out every 15 minutes with a different name on the back, and it announced a member of the cast, and they did it for 27 different members. Started on Thor and ended in Robert Downey Jr. As Doom, and obviously Chris Hemsworth has plays Thor. That was the first one. So there's 27 different ones. There's a lot to unpack, really, if you think of it, because if you look at what the members of the cast that have been included, so you've got Thor, Black Panther, you've got all the Thunderbolts, Bart, Taskmaster, Sentry, Loki, Fantastic Four, Captain America, Falcon, Winter Soldier, you've got Magneto, Professor X, you've got Cyclops, Nightcrawler, Mystique, and then you've also got Ant-Man, and you've got Doom himself. There's obviously probably a few that I've missed in there. I think Shang-Chi was in there. Sorry, just having a look through here just to see if I've missed anybody. Yeah, so pretty much covered everyone that they've announced on the list. That's people they've announced. So my theory is sort of similar to what everyone else is going to be, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's something completely different, because Marvel like to play games with people. Yeah, I tend to feel it's going to be sort of an X-Men versus Avengers film, but I don't think that's going to be the whole film. I think that's going to be like maybe the first part of the film or some sort of middle part of the film. It's going to be interesting to see how they shape it in effect, because there hasn't really been much build up. Obviously, you've had like the incursions, and you've had, if you watch Loki season 2, you had Loki become the god of stories. You had all of that stuff. So little bits have sort of built into it, and then obviously I would have kind of thought there'd be a Doctor Strange film before we got to Doomsday, because obviously the way Doctor Strange finished, you remember he went off into the dark dimension in pursuit of something. Obviously that was like the post-credit scene of Doctor Strange, I believe. So it's kind of going to be interesting to see how they start this film. Obviously you are going to get some sort of teaser in Fantastic Four, which comes out in July. You're going to get some sort of teaser towards Doomsday, and that you might get a bit of Robert Downey Jr. playing Doom, but I don't think you'll get a lot. I think it'd be more like a post-credit, or maybe the last 5 minutes of the film. That film's going to be heavily orientated around Silver Surfer and Galactus, which also haven't been announced for Doomsday yet. Obviously, Secret Wars is obviously not going to get anything announced for it until Doomsday's come out, I don't believe, because it gives too much stuff away. Like, you've already kind of got a mini Thunderbolts sort of spoiler that kind of looks like Taskmaster's not going to be returning, but they could be doing that just to kind of, not that the way this Taskmaster in the comic books, Taskmaster's a massive character, one of the hardest villains sort of to beat, because obviously it can replicate people's moveset. It can fight. You can basically, if you watched sort of like the fight between, if you played Avengers the game, you'll see there's a sort of battle that you have on a bridge between Taskmaster and Black Widow, and Taskmaster basically replicates all of the moves that she does, and it makes it almost impossible to beat until she finds a way to beat him, kind of thing. So that's what I was expecting Taskmaster to be in the Black Widow film, but look, it was a disappointment. I don't think a lot of people were happy about it, but it is what it is. Marvel kind of just, I don't know what it is. Some of the films, they kind of just go on a bit of a mad one, and instead of sort of sticking to what they've done so good for over the years. Look how well they built up to Endgame and Infinity War. You kind of expect that to be, maybe they want to not keep it the same and want to do something a little bit different. But again, I think that structure worked. You build up all the characters and you build into it. It's a bit like James Gunn started doing for the DC universe, and we hope he gets it right, because DC have some really good characters and I want that to sort of flourish as a franchise. But anyway, back onto the topic. Yeah, sort of feel it's going to be like an Avengers versus X-Men sort of thing. It's sort of set up that way. And I feel like it's probably going to be the end of most of the X-Men. They're going to give them that send-off that they've never really got when Fox got merged over to Marvel. So you've got to look at, you're going to have another version of Professor X. This could be, I mean, it's going to be might be the 616 universe, and you get a few other people from different universes that get somehow, like Fantastic Four, expect them to be in the 616 by the time Doomsday starts from their film. Because obviously they're going to have an incursion. Their world is probably not going to survive. we're not 100% sure on the plot, but you kind of got a great idea of what it's going to be. It's kind of building into that sort of thing. Obviously, they're going to have a big fight with Galactus and that kind of thing. So it should be a great film anyway. I think Fantastic Four's never... I don't have any issues with the other films that they made that were made by... I think they were made by... Was it not Sony? It was Fox, I think. Anyway, yeah, I didn't have an issue with them, even though they were a bit... I thought they were a bit lackluster, but they were okay at the same time. One of them mid-par films that you're not upset with, but you're okay with it at the same time. I'm hoping they do this a little bit more justice. I mean, again, this is Marvel's sort of last run before they start a blank slate anyway, so it's not... You just want them to do Secret Wars justice, because it's such a massive comic book arc. There's obviously multiple different ways of done it, with different people writing it. And from what the Russo brothers have kind of stated, is that they're sort of taking both adaptations of Secret Wars, both different runs of Secret Wars, and making it sort of their own thing. So it's going to be interesting to see how they kind of go by it, and to see how Doomsday sort of fully leans into that. It kind of feels a little bit like Avengers Endgame, the whole end of Infinity War, beginning of Endgame, where they lose and then they regroup and then they find a way, and then it's sort of that way. Obviously, no one really predicted it till after, but it kind of has that similar feel with that arc sort of thing, where you'll get the 616 universe versus, I believe it's like I can't remember what the universe it is. It's a 101 or something like that. Anyway, it feels like they're going to collide, or Doom's going to set it up so they fight. More than likely, 616 is going to win, or the incursion is going to fully take place. Maybe Loki will die, and him holding all that stuff together will sort of unravel the whole universe, and then that's how Doom makes it collide. Again, I feel they could have done this over 3 films, just purely because there's not really that much time to... there isn't that much time to kind of smack up this story in terms of getting up to Secret Wars. There's like virtually, you've got Doomsday, then I think in between Doomsday and Secret Wars, you've got, I think it is Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man's one of the bigger films. You've got Fantastic Four's before Doomsday. So it's sort of like Fantastic Four, Doomsday, Spider-Man, and then I'm pretty sure they're probably going to end up adding a couple more films. Again, it's hard to know what they're planning, because Comic-Con's coming up. Pretty much San Diego Comic-Con will come up in probably around about August time. So I expect there to be a massive announcement there on, probably not on the Fantastic Four, but on Doomsday, and how Doomsday will shape up towards Secret Wars, and what anything sort of that's in between. So it might give you some sort of idea, because look, they've missed out a lot of characters on their purpose. I think they've done it purposely. Look, there's no way they're not going to have Spider-Man, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, or any of the Guardians, Blade, Deadpool, Wolverine. None of these. There's no way these are all going to be left out of both films. It's just impossible. Battleworld is that they're going to have I wouldn't be surprised if you get like a 150 member cast on Secret Wars, and you're going to have that many different versions of different characters. Like you might have 2 or 3 different versions of Hulk. You might have different versions of Thor, Iron Man. I wouldn't be surprised if they throw the absolute kitchen sink at this film. Doomsday is obviously the pre-builder up until Secret Wars. I wouldn't be surprised if Secret Wars you end up seeing like characters that have been teased from over the years. The ones that like Tom Cruise's supposed to play a version of Iron Man, but obviously they didn't have the contract. They couldn't be signed because he already had commitments to another studio. I wouldn't be surprised if you see him as a variant of Iron Man. All the kind of characters you think over the years that might have been in a Marvel film, they're going to chuck everyone into this. This is their sort of big capitulation film before they actually reset the whole thing and start again. So, yeah, lots to unpack. This video is already 10 minutes long, and it's so much to talk about. This is probably going to be my YouTube video, and I'll do a separate one for TikTok. But yeah, I generally feel that so much to happen. In the Fantastic Four will probably be the pre-build to see first glimpse of the Doom. And then you're probably going to go straight into Doomsday, and that will be sort of the build-up to Secret Wars. I'm guessing that's how it's going to be. I think you'll get like a taste of Secret Wars in it, like a battle between X-Men and versus the Avengers, and that's some similar sense to that. And then you'll get some sort of way that all of the universes collide, or Doom finds a way to put everyone on the same the battle world, which could be the Void. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they get this sort of. It's going to be interesting to see how they get this how they do Doomsday. I'm excited, but kind of a bit trying not to get too ahead of myself and listen to everyone's predictions, because we've all been wrong in the past. Marvel are very, especially the Russos and Feige, they're very good at misdirect. It's Marvel's patent thing to do misdirection. Like you say, Doomsday, they've only announced 27 characters. We all know there's probably going to be up to 75 main characters. I would expect to see a lot more X-Men in there. I don't think you might get another variant of Wolverine. I don't think you'll see Deadpool in it. Again, it all depends, because a lot of these characters, I think, are getting a kill. They might kill a lot of these characters off. Definitely Magneto, Professor X, Cyclops, Nightcrawler, all of them, and maybe some of the Thunderbolts, I could see probably getting axed off. Just purely to give the Fox characters a proper send-off that they never got, because they all obviously were filming and then it just got chopped, and then obviously Marvel bought it, and then that was it. So I wouldn't be surprised if they're the ones that get the send-off. And then obviously they'll sort of, I would expect you to see more of the main heavy-hitting characters sort of announced towards the end of the film, kind of like coming into it, and then Battleworld is sort of formed in that way, if that's how they're exactly going to go Battleworld. It's going to be interesting to see how they plug the two together, unless they decide to make it 3 films. I still think they'll stick with 2, but there might be 2 3.5 hour films. There's a lot to get excited about. Obviously, I will probably cover some Superman when that comes out, because I'm excited for that to come out. And you've got Fantastic Four. I think they're within the same sort of amount of time with each other. So yeah, lots to unpack. And I hope you like this. Like I say, give me a like and subscribe. I am currently playing Jedi Fallen Order, and I dropped the first episode about 12:30 today. So if you want to keep an eye on that series, there'll probably be a couple more videos dropping this week, and it'll probably be an hour long each time-ish, give or take, because I'm not using the capture card, so it's going to be just done through PlayStation itself, unfortunately, until I get my capture card sorted. I won't be able to do anything longer than an hour. I would like to upgrade it to an hour and a half to 2 hours, but again, at the moment, I've got to stick with an hour. So, yeah. So this is going to be on YouTube. So, yeah, I'll catch you in the next one. And any updates, I'll start trying to cover this now up until we get to the point of it getting released. Obviously, I'll probably do some sort of coverage for Fantastic Four as well. So, yes, catch you in the next one. Peace.